Grand Rising family, and welcome back to the channel. It's Shay Seeking, and this is Not Your Mama's Bible Study, along with a little bit of His Story Lied. Today we're going to go ahead and look into a couple of things. We're going to look into a couple of recent events, and then we're going to go ahead and look into the Apocrypha for somewhat answers, and we're going to see what we find. So I had been watching an alternative news channel on YouTube, and they showed this map here of the states that are ordered to stay at home. And then this whole order to stay at home thing reminded me of something that people would talk about a couple of years back when I was going through my awakening and dealing with issues of seeing how things were in the world and having to deal with some sort of fear, thinking the worst was to come. But again, ever since I've gone and transitioned into a different way of thinking, feeling, and seeing, and going within, I've lost all fear of anything that we are going to face here. I do hope that everyone is safe, and that the only thing that I want is for people to wake up and be very vigilant around this time, so that if there's no sense to panic, we shouldn't. And if there is a sense to be worried, we should be very aware and alert. As we know, his story tells us that for some reason, when things like this usually occur, it's not a good deal for melanated people and other so-called minorities, or Aboriginal and indigenous peoples. So, you have to think, but there is talk of an end game or an end time or something where we get this view from Hollywood and all over, which, they do put a lot of key things in their movies and television shows or television shows, in order to get us to speculate and to show us signs of the future and things that are to come or have come to pass. But I think that sometimes they take it a little too far, and at the end you kind of feel some type of fear before a calm. So in my breaking apart these type of things, I can kind of see the things that they may be stretching on to lead us into fear when we see these things coming. But I think that maybe again, we have to know that we're dealing with magicians, and we're dealing with people that are casting with their cast spells on people's mind, and that they like to fear monger just like the mainstream media. And so be careful and don't let them drive you crazy, okay? Because again, fear is something that they use in order to initiate certain things that we would not normally accept. So, and this is laws and things like this. So when we're talking about this virus, I'm not, of course, I'll wash my hands and everything like I do all the time, or that they should tell people to do during the regular flu season, which, remind you, kills 90,000 people in this country alone a year for the past 10 years or so, if not more. And we have never called a pandemic or epidemic or anything of this nature. We've never put out flyers in schools to wash your hands. We've never, and this is how many people die. And most of the people that die of the regular flu are also people with a low immune system, or someone who already have underlying ailments. Okay, so again, when we're looking at this, really pay attention and see, because the regular flu passes around. This might mutate, but the regular flu does too. There's a new, version. The flu shot is only, I think they only take 3 strains or something and put it in the flu shot, when there's hundreds of different strains of the flu that come in per year. So again, with the amount of people that are getting the flu shot, why are we still seeing that many people dying per year if 50 or 60% of the population usually gets the flu shot? So you have to ask yourself questions like this. Anyhow, that's just kind of showing you guys where I'm at with my thinking. But I have fallen off my square for a couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks. Time is flying now, because I did kind of see something shifting and going on when it came to this flu. So luckily, we were some of the people that went the week before, and were able to just get a couple of things. I probably double grocery shopped. I didn't stock my out of fear or anything. I just knew that the way these people were acting, I needed to make sure I could be able to feed my children, and the people in my family, or maybe help someone else out. See, they try to make you feel bad about buying extra, but it doesn't mean that people are going to be stingy with these things. When it comes to 1918 and other epidemics, it was the people that kept each other alive by helping feeding and planting gardens, things that in this time off you need to really consider. Bunkering down in place, and getting your fort ready, and that should include vegetables for every single person in America. Should If you are a gardener and you just focus on making your yard pretty, which I never understood really, then you need to pull that stuff out and you need to pop some vegetables or something in your garden. Maybe even in your community, get in touch with different people, or in your family, in your area, and then pick, so it's not so overwhelming to be growing so many different things. If you're new to gardening, maybe you agree to do green peppers, your aunt does red peppers, your grandma does potatoes, and this way that if anything happens, and someone wants you to depend on them for, okay, there's a lot I want to say even with that sentence. Like a FEMA camp or something, you want to stay away from these places as much and as long as possible. See, because I think the first that panic and the first that go into these places are the ones that are going to see something that they don't. Because again, I think there is a time for judgment, and I think in a sense this word kind of speaks it, that there is time for payback for certain people. We were talking about reparations in ADOS before, and they said they couldn't do it, but now they have money to do all these other things to keep these companies alive, which I agree with small businesses. But again, these big companies, they're not losing that much money, because now we've all been funneled into going to only a Walmart, a Walgreens, and Amazon, which employs all of these different people that are getting all these different packages from all over the world. They're still there, which they can get the thing and take it home to their family every day. We're risking a lot with this, but again, people think they need these things instead of just, if we're really worried about the virus, instead of just sitting in place and trying to find other things or other ways to take care of the needs that you need to. So okay, so that's a lot because I haven't been here and I'm kind of nervous. I feel weird or something since I haven't been here for a long time, and I'm kind of going off of subject as what I usually do. So, excuse me. So, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and look at a couple of things. I just don't want people to worry too much. And again, like I said, I was wandering around here like a zombie for like 3 days, feeling like there was something I was missing or something that I should see or whatnot. So, we ended up watching this video, and it showed this thing, and I'm in this area, the Midwest area, so it was kind of concerning when I saw that, the lockdown or stay in place or martial law-ish kind of thing, where some of these places are being taken over by the governors of each state, and they're using military or National Guard in these places. It kind of reminded me of some stuff that people were saying a long time ago, and you might want to go ahead and get caught up since you're at home, these next couple of weeks. So I noticed this little shape here of the red states that are connecting, and it reminded me of something, except this one is missing, okay, for now. And this is a couple of days old. I kind of just screenshotted it and then, kept it on here. So it might have changed now is what I'm saying. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and look at this little cluster here, because automatically it made me think, where have I seen this before? And then it came to me noticing that it was this. Now, West Virginia was here, red here, but it's also connected to, this this area here when it comes to this, breaking it up into 10 places. And where have we heard about, I don't know, the candlesticks? I think that was 7. But when we're talking about the 10, 10 tribes sometimes in the Apocrypha, and then we're talking about also 10 horns, okay, 10 horns in Revelations, I believe. And then, it just kind of made me think about even the Bible talking about a portion of 10, and each somebody was going to be able to reign. They had never had control, and they'll be given power to, do certain things in these 10 areas. Okay, so people are saying, Hunger Games and stuff like this. But Hunger Games is another way of just saying the caste system that's been set up all this time. But again, I do think that it is, there's all types of things and theories going around. Could this be something where Trump is standing his ground because he's been given a task to do? Not so much that personally he cares that much about you. He might care about the country, but you're just in it, and so whatever he's doing, he might be doing for the whole thing, which includes you at the end. He might be carrying out certain orders from a higher power. Okay. But it seems to me that there could be some truth to this just staying inside because they're cleansing. They said draining the swamp a long time ago. But again, could this be some other form of some kind of arrest or something that they're going to be taking down, some type of world power that's being taken down at the moment, and they're doing this under the guise of the coronavirus? Because again, the regular flu kills 90,000 a year. We're not even up to 10,000 or anything like that. When it comes to the amount of deaths, I think here in America, I don't pay that much attention, to the numbers every single day and hang on to it or anything like that. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it a little bit more, but I don't think it reached over the tens yet. I think we're still in like the 6 or 7. I'm not sure. Okay, so I won't say it, but I know it's not that many. So again, it's not even nicking what the regular flu does. And again, they don't do any of this for that. They don't shut down the whole economy that most of these places may not be able to come back from this damage that has been done. But again, that's going to lead us to reading here in I keep wanting to say Ezra, but it's EDRAS, okay, the second book in the Apocrypha, and we're going to see a couple of things. Okay, so then they're saying that, I just wanted to show you guys these images. Again, here are the regions too. I think the only thing that we're missing is this. I think these two were this one was kind of lighted, but not all the way in one. And I think Idaho was left. But again, I'm just saying, should we be paying attention to this? And then again, should we dread these camps this time? If you've been told that you have this negative experience with these camps and these things like this over the past, why should you trust them now? See, and this is why it's good to use wisdom, knowledge, and discernment in these times. And you're not going to get that in your church. You're not going to get it from looking at this biblical text in the religious manner. The religious part of this is the money hungering part of the system that is deceiving many, whether they know it personally, meaning your pastors and things, or not. Okay, some of these know exactly who they work for. Okay, and then I just wanted to show you guys that even some of these points where they're saying these camps are still the same from when they took the Japanese, I guess, into these camps during the war. But again, I think the Japanese did fine, and I think then they deported them or sent them back, if it's under my understanding. So again, I don't know. Okay, so these were the concentration camps. And, again, a lot of people were warning about martial law being Walmart backwards, and that they were going to start using Walmarts for certain things and, things like this. We just don't know. So the further you can stay away from going into the system that they're about to create, because no matter what you think, after this whole epidemic or pandemic thing, this life as you know it, this is somewhat the end times, because life as we know it will not come back the same way again. Okay? What I'm saying is life as you know it will never be the same again. This could be a negative for some and a positive for others. But I think if we remain calm instead of running out in the streets, and you can take care of yourself for a certain amount of time, which a lot of other countries did. But if it's time to pay back, you're going to try to eliminate as much people as you can when it comes to this payback that you don't have to pay back. So again, I'm saying not because you're afraid of the virus, you don't have to be afraid of it or even believe that it exists, but it's the underlying issues and the laws and things that are being passed and the stipulations and things that's been put in place right now for us to not be able to provide for ourselves and depend on someone else, like in Venezuela, to give them food and supplies and shelter at a time in need. And a lot of those people didn't get what they needed, and a lot of people perished. So we all know that, again, when it comes to these war things, they come in clusters, pandemics. I was just watching some documentaries about the oldest people or the last surviving people in a lot of these cities and stuff like this. When the Spanish flu or the Asian flu or whatever came through, and they said the same thing. It started like in your neck, in your chest, and then it turned into something else. So if you really pay attention to the past, you'll be able to see where we're going now in a certain extent. But I think the outcome this time will be different, because I think that the earth is cleansing itself. People are waking up and rising up. And when you're in that higher frequency, we don't know as much as they know about us and what we're able to do and the power that is in us when we say, no, it's enough. No more of these things that are going to be harming my people. So when the originals wake up and stand their grounds and don't participate anymore, it's going to be a big problem for them. And when it's time for payback for these people that have been enjoying these luxuries for so long, they're not going to be happy about distributing these things that are old. Okay, so anyhow, that's the map. And then someone did a video about this and saying that these guys right here of the National Guard are going to be the ones that are supposedly in charge of these here. So you can check your local place, maybe see if you can find a clearer portion of this here, a clearer version of this image here, so that you can check and see if these people are the people that they have. If it is, it's more of a these people that put this on their channel is more of a prophetic thing then, or just a warning, or from one of the, people that would be speaking some of this truth. And we did not want to look at it. We did not want to heed or hear it. And I think that even in this book, how it says when we're reading in a minute, because of lack of knowledge, there's going to be a lot of people that do lose their lives because of panic and all these other things. Instead of just, if you really listen to, whether you like them a lot, not, I don't necessarily care for any of these people if they're not doing right. But there might be some truth to what someone is saying from the White House. It just seems like the media is geared towards fear, 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 and they want to control you by that fear, and they want to give you a different perception so that you don't trust the government, so that you act up, because these are the people that have been reaping the benefits from you. These are the merchants spoken of in this book that are about to get paid what's due. These are the people that have been doing the things and rotting the brains and minds of the people, like spoken in this word, that are going to have to come out of their power. Okay, so is this the time? Okay, is there something covert or hidden that's going on in the background that we cannot see, that may lead us to a sort of freedom? Or is it something that you should prepare for that may not be so good for you? So again, I think my best thing, my judgment is telling me, that we should try to stay at home and fend for ourselves as long as possible. And for people that are talking about people that are buying a little bit extra food, that's nonsense. Because again, like these people said in these documentaries, it was the people that went together in the end and helped each other. And she said something about a sweet potato patch that they ended up putting in. And she thinks that everybody in that city survived off of that one patch by working together and starting something together. And that's why I think that we should be prepared for something like that. Okay? You never want to depend on these people. You never want a problem to be given to you, them to tell you how you should react, and then them to bring in the, to try to be the savior at the end of the day, because that doesn't turn out well for people most times. So anyway, I did this video last night, but the audio was messed up. And I went to bed just thinking, again, I'm not here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm just sharing what it looks like to me. And so I slept on it, and, I didn't get to bed until really late. And I woke up this morning, and there was, I won't call it a ratchet, but there was a sound coming from outside. Like, I went to bed at 5, and I think around 8, I was hearing this. And I'm like, what is that? Is somebody watching something on TV? What? It made me get up and look out the window, and I saw 2 crows sitting in a tree above my, right above, in front of my house. And I'm like, wow, what? And, and something made me think, 2 crows, and they're just squawking and squawking until I went to the window, sat there for a while, trying to open my eyes with, the blinds open. And and I'm just looking at them for a minute, and they're facing my direction, and then they squawked a couple of more times, and they both left. And so I'm like, well, let me see what this could symbolically, because when you start paying attention, things speak. Not talking to you with a voice, but I'm just saying. Okay, when you get into this certain realm of the awakening, which we can all obtain if we just silence the world around us and go within and do your own journey. Your journey might be different than mine, but anyway, I went ahead and I looked at what crows mean. Like what can it be symbolic spiritually for? With nature or the universe speaking. And it said that if it's one, then it's death or destruction. And if there's two, that means that there's a new leaf, a new change. It's something good coming your way. And whenever I think about my way, I think about everybody's way. And I definitely think about my people's way. Okay? So at the end of the day, I felt a little bit better about delivering this message to you guys. And I came down here to go ahead and try to edit the other video, but the audio wasn't there. 45 minutes. So again, I'm a little bit more refreshed this morning, and hopefully, or this afternoon. So hopefully I can kind of get everything I want to get out to you guys about this. So I just thought that was suspect. I would like to know what you guys think down in the comment section. Is there something to worry about? Is there not? Do you see a pattern? Maybe you guys have seen the map recently, and then you can see a couple of more clusters forming. We already know that it's coming to everyone's town, and initially it might be the whole place, but we'll see. Sorry. So we're going to go ahead and read just a small portion of the book of EDRAS from the Apocrypha. And again, this still doesn't mean that I have a belief in a God in the sky looking through the clouds at me, and like religion teaches us, and a devil under the ground waiting to take us in. We are in the Sheol as Aboriginal people. If you pull up the caste system chart, we are already there. See, then there's enmity between us, the originals of the land, and their seed, which are the servants and the commoners and things in the bottom of that pyramid that goes up, like I said, into the merchants and the landowners, and then it goes up to the this is going up the pyramid to that all-seeing eye that you see on your dollar bill with the light behind it. So that's going up into the kings, which are presidents, I think, or prime ministers, or whatever they call them, and then the militia, which would be their forces, their armed forces. Okay, there's all different types. Okay, so and then the top of the pyramid that, like I said, is detached on the dollar bill with the eye in it and the light blinding it, is probably that light that one of these gods. See, we have to learn to discern who and what we're talking about. There's more than one God in this Bible. You are told to lump everyone, the Lord your God, this and this and that, and sons of God. You've been taught to lump it all together, but that is the wrong way to interpret the word. Everyone has their place here. Okay? This whole one God. Okay, well, you know what? If it was one, he wouldn't have had to tell you to not worship any other gods. So again, that's a mass deception in my eyes. You have to discern who is who when you're reading this text. So again, but I do feel like there's a force or a energy behind everything that is pulling us through this so-called life. Okay? And the people that they put in front of you are just the puppets that are performing and putting forth the word. Okay, but there's a bigger hidden thing and a hidden agenda behind all of this. Okay, so let's go ahead into the book. Okay, so we're gonna go. I'm just gonna go ahead and go up a little bit. I like to do that. So we're gonna go into 14 and 46. Oh no, and 45. Okay, 44. Okay, I'm sorry. In 40 days, they wrote 204 books. And it came to pass when the 40 days, now the print in this Apocrypha is really small. I haven't been able to get my hands on a big one, if they even have them. So it's really small. So when the 40 days were fulfilled, that the highest spake, saying, the first that thou hast written, publish openly. Okay, so the first part that you wrote, publish it openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. Okay, but keep the 70 last. Okay, and this is what a lot of people I think refer to as those 70 missing books. Okay, but keep the 70 last, that thou mayest, so again, what we blame, oh, they took this out, they took that out. Well, it seems that there is someone of a higher power, a God of a highest nature, that is saying to do this. Okay, again, this is when you can get the full understanding and not be feeling bad or ashamed because you have to point out some of the naughty things that these gods, so-called gods and leaders and rulers do in your governing forces compared to these governing forces here in this biblical text. So let's see. And I think that in religion we've been led to get the perception of how to obtain understanding of this entity that has misled us and led us astray. Okay, so publish openly, that the worthy and the unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. Okay, for in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. Okay, and I did so. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. See? And that's what I'm saying about some of these movies going a little bit too far with the imagery. They've been pounding us and pounding us and pounding us. And then it just so happens that one guy does that movie, The Gray State, I believe. He's working on this movie, and him and his whole family are murdered before the completion of this movie. And he also spoke other things that were very telling, and left a couple of hidden things inside of his trailer. That went a little bit far, because again, they didn't stop production or get rid of some of these people that have done movies like Contagion, or even what is the one that I had watched recently? Oh my goodness, the Stephen King movie, The Stand. I think it's called The Stand. None of these people are reprimanded for putting these things out, and again, because I think that they go to the extreme, okay, to promote that fear. So when this hits, we panic, okay. And I think that the thing is to be still, kind of like put the mark on your door and go in your house, if I'm not mistaken, what the scripture says about some people at a certain time. So again, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Okay, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. Now, this world, of course, we say, oh, we got the whole world. When you think world, you think of the globe, earth, things like this. But again, these worldly things are separate from what is nature or natural. Okay, so we've been taught to worship the beast and feed that beast system that has been oppressing us, and also causing a lot of dis-ease and a lot of illness mentally and physically in the way that we've been acting. We've been basically giving up our original form of, like one of my Facebook friends likes to say, of tribalism, and we've gone on with this with the worldly ways. Okay, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. Okay. And legally, and when it comes to you obtaining anything of power or anything of land or resources, you're not included in the world, but initially you are in the world, and you are the one that holds the world up, okay, by giving it your energy, okay. The sword, okay, and the sword, I think, this is just my own way of perceiving it, because he's going to specifically say later on, the sword in thy hand. So the sword, I think, can also be relevant to speaking something sharp that is going to be cutting just by speaking it with the mouth, okay? And of course, it could also mean a sword or something else symbolic for other things. It goes deep. There's many levels to this text. I will bring plagues, okay? The sword, famine, okay? So again, this is not anything new. This has happened over and over again, but we see that there's a connection to certain people, okay, that are governing forces, that are in charge, okay, that bring these things upon people when they want resources and they want to devastate a nation or a group or a people, okay. So, and we do know that a lot of these things, if not all of them, are man-made. I don't think that nature produces these things. I think that they are something that they've been testing on us for so long, before you even thought that they even had the technology to do so, that they know how they can predict, why they do use predictive programming, using your subconscious mind, okay? They know how to get you to go in certain directions or achieve that sheeple or herd mentality, okay? So now it says death and destruction. So we're looking at the whole collapse going on right behind this that we've been talked about and been warned about for a very long time. But again, since it's under the guise of the virus, I don't even think is that necessary, okay? Such as the UK saying that they've taken it off a list, basically saying that it is a, whatever you call it, a pandemic. Okay, because now they know more about it and they've taken it off that list of being something that is a high alert. But then it still didn't stop them from 3 days later or a couple days later going ahead and putting these people under lockdown as well. So again, there's a bigger picture going on. We don't shut down the anything for all of these people that die every year from the flu shot. And then again, the flu shot must not be helping either. It must not be helping because again, why are that many people dying when so many people get it? So it doesn't make any sense. Okay? And destruction. Okay? So again, this collapse, things will not be the same when they come back. They may seemingly be the same. They're going to give you the perception that they're the same, but there's always going to be underlining things that are going to affect you that are left behind. For wickedness hath exceedingly, remember the 400 years is up? They want you to do this 2020 ID that's going to lock you into some kind of credit system. They're talking about not spending cash. This is a test. If it's the real thing, even if it's not the real thing, this is them getting you prepared for it and you going along with it and just saying, okay, if it's for the health of us, just like other things that have happened in the past and they roll things out and we say, okay, yeah, do what you have to do to help us protect us. But in the end, we're giving away our rights and our freedoms. Okay. So this whole cashless thing and don't spend cash because it can pass germs, and just look at how things are going. Even the rations at the store now, with the manufacturers not being able to keep up with having goods in the store. Again, what was I gonna say? Putting limits on the amount of things that you can purchase for your family, like 1 pack of meat and this and that and that. So again, those who did get a little bit extra, they may be able to feed themselves and their neighbors. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time. So it says, for the wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. So that means earth, the aboriginal, that means the indigenous people, and the people that, the inhabitants of the earth. So it's polluted everyone. Okay. Okay, because the earth, or the original, is the mother of all. Okay? So, again, and they dismiss, and they have you as the lowest They've given the world the perception of you being the lowest of the whole. One up there. They want to give the world the perception that she's nothing. She's the less woman to get married in the world. She can't keep her man. She's too strong. You know, her hair is too nappy. We should be able think about our music. She's the only woman that's disrespected by her own men, and everyone in the world gets to see this in that music. So anybody that is vibrating on that level and able to actually listen to this music even with their daughters in the car with them is a damn fool, and they deserve to go down with it, because I don't care if you look like me or not. If your mind is not in the right place, then I don't consider you me. Okay? I don't consider you someone that cares about me. And when I talk about me, I'm talking about us. Because this is just how I live my life. Okay? So, I'll take the brunt. I'll be the joke. I'll be the butt of the jokes. I'll be the one that everybody assumes went crazy. But there will be something that I speak to you that you will think about when times get to certain things. And that's fine with me. Me and others. Nothing special about me, but the fact that I'm choosing to pay attention and I am really listening to that voice that's within. Okay? I chose to let go of certain worldly things so that I can connect with that. Okay? So, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So they've already filled the whole thing, and they didn't already corrupted you to the core. Okay? Starting with the so-called black family, okay, period. And then it trickled out into everyone, okay. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, you know, and this reminds me of in the biblical text that 1 hour, when everything is going to come down or collapse in 1 hour. Think about how fast things are coming down here that a lot of people did not expect. People were sounding the alarm. They were speaking. They had been posting stuff and sharing stuff and everything like this for so long. Nobody paid attention. Now is the time to get up on your game. Okay, so since we don't want to make this video so long, I'm going to go ahead and split it in half, insert this insert, and I'm going to continue with part 2 shortly after this one. So anyhow, this might be awkwardly placed, but I didn't want to make the video so long, so I decided to go ahead and cut it in half. So anyways, I want to thank you guys again for watching. I know it's been a long time. Don't forget to comment, rate, or subscribe, and if you'd like to join us on the Facebook group American Aborigines Unchained. Again, we're talking about things that are detrimental to the health of our people, and the enrichment and knowledge and all types of things. Hopefully we can also use that as some kind of message board or something, if something were to happen to some people's channels or something like this. We can kind of keep in touch that way, because we don't know if the internet is going to be compromised in any type of way. And again, we might need to network with each other, or again, when it comes to YouTube, we don't know how much cleansing they're going to do here. So again, that will be a place where we can possibly, you know, link up with people that need things in our areas and, you know, things like this. So again, thanks a lot for watching, and do take care.